All right. I am just connecting to that earth energy. It's so, what was coming through there? It's so heavy right now for you guys. I'm curious as to what you're feeling. My beautiful Taurus, Virgos, and Capricorns. All right, just going to intuitively be guided to where the cards would like to be cut. Okay, all right, there we are. We're gonna get a shot of that. We have the 6 of discs or pentacles or coins or whatever you're looking for in terminology. That is what we have. 6 of discs for you earth signs. Okay. Obviously, like, to me, the first thing that comes through is balance for you guys. I feel like you're really being called to pay attention to the themes around this full moon, specifically about how much you give versus how much you're receiving right now. And it's not coming through as like a tit for tat kind of energy. Like, it's not like, well, I gave this much and they gave this much, so it's not fair. And it's like, no, you're not really being, it's looking at like what you're investing, how much you're putting forth, all of the effort that you're putting into your relationships in whatever capacity they are, or your projects, or your people, whatever. But this moon is heavily themed in relationships. So obviously I'm bringing everything back to that. How much you're putting out there, how much you're nurturing, how much you're offering, how much attention and how much of your needs that you're meeting of your partners or your friendships or your work relationships or whatever you're resonating this to right now. Finding that balance, finding that like that give or take of what you're giving and what you're receiving, and really looking at it like maybe you're giving way too much or not way too much. Maybe you're giving more than you're receiving and it's not okay anymore. Or maybe you're taking way more than you give. And all relationships go through a little bit of an ebb and flow. And I am getting this coming in right now, like pretty strong. Like my eyes want to close so that I can fully receive that. But it's like all relationships go through phases where like maybe one person, albeit friendships, work relationships, personal, intimate, whatever, marriages, whatever. All relationships go through ebbs and flows where, one person may not be fully able to give as much as the other person for certain periods of time. So the other person holds it down while that person does what they need to do, or vice versa. But this is a bigger theme. This seems like this is maybe like a pattern for you. Maybe you enter into relationships where you're constantly giving and not getting back what you need and making yourself smaller and being like, it's fine, the scales are tilted, I'll just take it, I'll just own it, it's what I do. Or maybe you're taking too much. Maybe you're not prioritizing your relationships and the people that are in them, and maybe you're taking too much. Really finding balance to ask for what you need, and also what you're giving, and also what you're taking. But really that the prevalent theme is asking for what you need, and that will help you facilitate how much you give. But for some of you earth signs, I am getting that you are taking way more than you're giving right now, and those relationships are coming to a boiling point. I'm getting the letter M, I'm getting the letter S, I don't want to do that. But it's coming in right now. I'm also getting that some of you are dealing with an air sign who's giving way more than you are. There's lots coming in around that. But you are really called to find that balance, right? There's a huge humanitarian aspect to the Aquarius energy. Obviously, this full moon being in Aquarius. It's about having empathy. It's about looking at your priorities. It's about really finding that balance. And if you are on the side of not receiving what you need and giving way too much, really looking at that and being like, okay, is this person needing more from me right now? And I'm okay with kind of holding that down and seeing the empathy in there and the humanitarian aspect of it. Maybe it's a friendship, maybe it's a work-related thing, maybe it's a personal, intimate relationship. Or are you on the other side of it where you're taking way too much, and maybe these people are like getting to a point where they're not okay with this anymore, and your relationships are going through some intense things? back to that one side, you could be giving, way too much, and that person is fully capable of giving, and you're just not holding them accountable because you're afraid of losing them, or you're afraid of not finding something else or something better or something for you, or just even being alone. A lot of you are terrified of being alone. And that, again, that might be in an intimate relationship, or maybe it's like in a work partnership. Like maybe you're scared of like doing this by yourself and going off on your own, and whatever it is, this Six of Discs is really calling a highlight to that balance, which is mirroring the energy of this full moon, mirroring that beautiful, harmony that we're trying to bring in here, where you're speaking your truth, claiming what you deserve because you know your worth, and also not acting in excess, and also offering that back, and really just finding like that good flow, right? So I would pay attention to all things themed around balance for you guys right now, especially for the next 4 weeks, and remembering that we have another full moon in Aquarius coming up at the end of August, where you're going to be able to kind of like double part this work, right? So Earth signs, that is what I've got for you, my beautiful Virgo, Capricorn, Tauruses. I hope that resonated. Let me know in the comments if it did. And happy full moon in Aquarius.